Hi everyone, Lorraine here from Lowe's Life and Lessons. I hope everyone is well today. This video is going to be about the things that I have learned in the last 2.5 years. Now, what happened to change my life 2.5 years ago? To change everybody's life 2.5 years ago? Of course, the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. All of a sudden, we were stuck at home, and I discovered YouTube in a big way. Now, I really enjoy YouTube videos when it comes to history or any kind of how-to things. And certainly, I had discovered YouTube when it came to perfume reviewers. I had discovered YouTube about 7 years ago. And in fact, I think some of those YouTubes were responsible for me getting into perfume collecting in a big way. But I did not realize that there were so many people out there talking about makeup, beauty, skincare, let alone a group of women, older women in my age demographic, 60 and over. Now, I'm almost 76, and I know there are a few content creators out there who are in their 80s, and I discovered this world 2.5 years ago. I was amazed, and I really got into it. I've always loved makeup. I always wore makeup since the time I was a teenager, but I only kind of had one of everything, one mascara, one eyeliner, one foundation. In fact, I hardly ever wore liquid foundation. I used a powder foundation for years and years and years. So there were many beauty products available that I didn't even know about, let alone even try. But when I discovered this beauty world on YouTube, well, it kind of changed my life, and I got really interested in these things. And I was so full of admiration for these older women who made it a point to look their very best, to take good care of themselves, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and yes, they put on their makeup every single day, and they got excited about it, and they felt good about themselves. So that was right up my alley. I really enjoyed that. So as a result, I have learned a whole lot of things in the last 2.5 years. And I want to share with you some of the products that I have discovered through these wonderful women and these products that I now use in my daily beauty routine. Some of these women are Natalie, the beauty diva in Montreal, Mrs. Melissa M., Pampered Wolf over there in the UK, and I couldn't even name all the wonderful women that I have discovered. I've linked some of their channels in the description box for you to explore, because these are very special women. They are filled with knowledge and encouragement and wisdom that I have really learned a lot from. So let's get started. And I'm going to start with my hair. Well, my hair, as I get older, it's getting thinner. It's getting finer. And it's just kind of wispy and fly away. It kind of drives me crazy. So what I did discover was that I could put a little bit of oil to smooth it out. So I've tried a few oils. Now the one I'm using right now is Desert Essence 100% jojoba oil. And I actually bought this from the iHerb website. Now, what I discovered after experimenting a few times was that I only need 2 drops. It doesn't feel like very much. I simply put 2 drops in the palm of my hand. Now, look what I do as well in order to keep the amount as minimal as possible. I simply put a hole in the top there, a small hole with a pin, and that disperses just the right amount. 2 little drops in the palm of my hand. And I rub my palms together, and then I put my hands through my hair. It feels like nothing at first, for sure, because at first I was thinking, well, that's not enough, and I would put more, and then my hair would end up a greasy mess. But it's only 2 drops required, and I do find that it helps my hair stay a bit smoother. One thing that I am looking for, though, because my hair doesn't keep a curl that well, and I'm looking for some kind of a setting gel or a setting cream, because I put rollers in my hair occasionally, and I would like to be able to hold the curl more than, 5 hours. So if you have any suggestions, I would really appreciate them. If you would leave them in the comments below, it would really help me because I'm just at a loss about what to use to help keep the curl in my hair. Another product that I discovered is this mushroom foundation. Now, I think they call it that because it comes with its own little brush, and it's, I guess, kind of shaped like a mushroom. So what you do is you take off the cap, remove this little protector, and then press this in the foundation, and then you press that into the skin. And I actually wore this today. This foundation is silky, silky smooth. It is just gorgeous. You can buy these from Amazon. You can buy them from AliExpress. Now, they're not exactly really cheap, but they're not really expensive either. And it is just the most beautiful, silky foundation. And it has a bit of a glowy finish. So I have really enjoyed this. And of course, the little brush is just kind of cute, right? It's kind of different. Speaking of these little brushes, this is something that you can buy to keep your makeup sponges in. Now again, I had never used makeup sponges, but I discovered the best makeup sponge on the market, and that's not only my opinion, it's the opinion of other content creators. And those are the ones from Miss A, AOA Paw Beauty Sponges. Now this is the pack of 6. I think this costs maybe $5. So inexpensive. Miss A is located in Texas, so for me being in Canada, of course I have to pay shipping and I have to pay the exchange, but still the prices are amazing, and there are so many different products, including this little container. So this little sponge is so soft, and it's just so comfortable to work with. It just feels wonderful on the skin. And then when you want to dry it out, you simply put it in this little holder, and there's different shapes of holders you can get. You can buy those from Miss A. Other products from Miss A that I've discovered are their oils, and I do have a hair oil from them, but I also bought some black castor oil. Now, I learned that some people use black castor oil on their brows and lashes to encourage growth. So I decided, well, you know what? I'm going to put a little bit on my eyelashes. Some people use a very expensive, I forget the name of it, but an expensive eyelash serum, which seems to work for them, and that's great. But, you know, I'd rather try the more affordable thing first, right? So this is what I've been using when I remember to put it on at night. And what I do is transfer a little bit in this little container. And again, you need 1 drop. And I put the 1 drop on my finger, rub my fingers together, and just apply that to my eyelashes at night. Sometimes I forget to do that step with my night skincare, but I have to say, I have been doing it quite a bit in the last few months, and I do think that my lashes, maybe they're not longer, but I do think that they're a bit fuller, and I'm quite happy with my lashes these days. Another thing that I purchased from Miss A is the AOA Squalane Balm. Now this is a stick. It has a little protective cover. And it is a balm. And what I do sometimes is use this as my moisturizer. I simply run it across my face and then just sort of pat it in. And another use for this, if you have a perfume that doesn't tend to be that long-lasting, you can place this balm on your pulse points, your wrists and your elbows here, between the breasts, and then apply the perfume, and it helps the perfume cling and last longer. All of these things that I'm telling you about are things that I learned from these wonderful women, these content creators on YouTube. And I'm just so grateful because these things have really added a lot of joy and pleasure to my life. For example, this glass palette. Well, I never heard of such a thing. But this is a game changer. Not only can you apply foundation, you just put a little bit of foundation, then you can just dip into it as you need to, but you can use it also for your moisturizer, for your sunscreen, for even if you wanted to blend different colors of cream eyeshadow. There's no limit to the uses of this glass palette, and you can buy it on Amazon for about $10. Another thing that I learned, and I think it was Mrs. Melissa M. that I learned this from, and she blots her lipstick with paper. What a good idea, because of course tissues can leave some lint on the lips. So this is such a great idea. You just use scrap paper. I just cut it into smaller bits, and Bob's your uncle. You simply blot the lipstick with little pieces of paper. I love it. A website that I learned about from Margaret at 60andMe is Lady Makeup. This is a Polish company, an online company. They have thousands of products. The price is right. Some of their products are products that we get right here in North America. I think sometimes the color or the packaging could be a bit older, but the product is fresh. For example, I bought this Maybelline Lifter Gloss for about $5 on the Lady Makeup website. And I love Maybelline Lifter Glosses. And I have one actually that has a color, and I can use this instead of lipstick. I can just use this for a touch of color. It's just wonderful. So smooth and comfortable to wear. And Lady Makeup has very interesting products made in Poland. For example, this one is a cleansing mousse. Now, all this writing is in Polish, but the website describes it, and I'm going to read the notes. It's the LAQ Nourishing Face Cleansing Mousse. It costs $3.25 Canadian. Deep cleansing without disturbing the pH of the skin. It's 94% natural active ingredients. It contains glycerin, raspberry seed oil, peony extract, and shea butter. And I tried this. It's just wonderful. It feels light and creamy. It has the most beautiful, delicate scent, and it just goes on the skin like butter. This would be the second step of a double cleanse, and it's just lovely. So it's fun to discover different types of products on Lady Makeup. This is something that I discovered recently, actually, all by myself. I don't use eyeliner above my eyelashes anymore. My eyelids are too crepey and too wrinkly for that. But I do line the waterline. And again, that's something that I never knew about until 2.5 years ago. I didn't know anything about lining a waterline. And believe me, it took a bit of time to get used to doing that because it's very delicate under there. But what I discovered was most of the time there is a little bit of transfer, for my eyes anyway, onto the waterline on the bottom. And I don't like that look for myself. But a liquid eyeliner will not do that. At least this e.l.f. one doesn't. So this beautiful liquid eyeliner just goes on smooth as can be, and it does not transfer at all to the bottom waterline. So that was a really cool discovery. Something that I learned from Mrs. Melissa M. was that, first of all, her teeth are just brilliant white. And all she uses is the Crest white strips. Now, I had used those about maybe 12 years ago, and I did find that it was effective, but at that time, I found the taste was kind of bleachy, and it was not that pleasant an experience. Well, 12 years later, I tried those Crest white strips again, and there is absolutely no taste at all. It's a very easy procedure. I do find that it works somewhat. I do this every 8 months. That's what the recommended time frame is. So Crest white strips are certainly in my repertoire these days. The next item is something that I've talked about so much by Makeup by Mario, Master Prep and Set Eye Primer Kit. This is in color light. I've had this for I don't even know how long. It comes in such wonderful sturdy packaging. It has 2 colors of the primer plus a very finely milled powder. Silky smooth. And what I do is I use one of those. It's kind of interchangeable for me. and I put that all over my eyelid, right up to the brow, and then I take a fluffy brush and I just sweep it across that powder and powder the whole thing. And that is my eyelid primer, and it works like a dream. This is about $40. Now that's expensive for me, but I've had this for so long. There's a lot of product in here, and if you want quality and quantity, I highly recommend this. Another tip I picked up is the whole idea about blotting your foundation. Now, sometimes I have a tendency to put on a little bit too much, and sometimes I have trouble blending it around the hairline. So if I have any doubt, what I do is I simply take a tissue. Now, I fold it, maybe, it depends, sometimes in half, sometimes in four, and I will simply blot, just press, and the warmth of my skin and the pressure of that tissue will pick up any excess foundation there, and it just makes me feel much more secure to know that I don't have any blotching or anything. This is a great tip. I also discovered these funny little makeup brushes. These are called oval brushes. Now, I can't even remember where I got these. You can get them on Amazon, you can get them probably many different places, and they are very, very dense. There are little hairs in there. They feel wonderfully soft, and I find that this shape in particular is really good for blending eyeshadow. So these are kind of fun. You know, I didn't know these existed, and they're not that expensive, and it's just another option when it comes to blending your makeup. I like a lip brush. Now, to be honest, I discovered a lip brush when I was in my 30s. I discovered it way back, and I always had a lip brush, but this one is beautiful. First of all, look how elegant it looks in this beautiful gold case. So what you have is you have this little fine brush on this end, and you simply pick up the lipstick. You just wipe it on the actual lipstick and line the lips with that, and then fill in. Again, just sweep that over the lip color and fill that in. I mean, then you don't have to worry about the texture of the lip liner. You don't have to worry if the pencil's going to crumble, or if it's going to blotch, or if the color's going to match properly. You really can't beat a lip brush. I love it. And finally, I learned about the existence of Korean and Japanese skincare. Now, I'm not going to say very much about that because I don't know that much about it yet. I've certainly heard many people describe the wonderful ingredients, unique ingredients, and apparently the Japanese and Korean women really do take care of their skin, and they have beautiful skin. So they're obviously doing something right, and we can certainly benefit from their expertise and their products. So that is an area that I'm going to explore further. And also, these products are not as expensive sometimes as some of the products that we traditionally use for skincare. That's all I have for today. I'm sure there's other things that I've discovered in the last 2.5 years, but these things have really added a lot of fun to my life, and I'm very grateful to these women who taught me all these wonderful beauty secrets. Thank you for joining me. Take care. I love you all very much. I appreciate your support. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye for now.